GSL SuperTournament Season 1.
And we are back here at the GSL SuperTournament. A pretty crazy upset back there. Innovation taking out Rogue in a very convincing fashion. Nobody pushes quite like Innovation.
Yeah, his rallying is just crazy, and I tell you, that was such a sharp push. The fact that he stopped the 3 Vipers, that was just it. It was like, hey, stop the Vipers, you're dead.
Nope.
Get out of the game.
And yeah, I mean, the fact that that was so straightforward, it didn't matter if it was mech or bio. He just tears through you. So Rogue's story ends here, and now we begin another chapter. It's going to be this PvP. Now, herO has had a bumpy time very, very recently. I don't know if this is indicative of a trend or if this is, something where he's just going to bounce back. herO's actually had a lot of success in the Super Tournament in the past.
Yeah.
By the way, you remember when herO would actually ride his skateboard down to the Super Tournament
And then win it?
and then win it? So what was going on at the time is we're like, well, who is actually the coolest person in the studio? I think it's the guy who rides his skateboard down here and then
wins the video game tournament.
Can you be any cooler than that? Riding a skateboard around 2 video game tournaments, winning them?
No.
Hard to top
That's the coolest thing that there is, basically. herO is a god amongst men.
But there's 2 Protosses in this story. I mean, Zest, somebody who years ago was insanely dominant.
Yeah.
And now he's faded back a little bit into among the greatest Protoss players instead of being the greatest.
He's not winning everything. And you're right. You can't call him the best Protoss right now, even though he's generally the highest on ladder a lot of the time. It has been. Like, he's still qualifying for things. He's still showing great games. But he's not winning everything. Before it was like, well, Zest is in this tournament, he'll probably win, right?
Yeah.
It's not like that right now, which is kind of sad because he's still absolutely one of the best. Like, I mean, you look at his play, he's beastly, but
yeah,
this is a hard matchup too because herO is one of these guys like SOS that can make anything happen. Like, for instance, his Oracles beat Phoenixes. He's one of those guys.
Well, coming into this game, I'm curious to see if it's going to be herO with his normal shenanigans. You know, he's somebody, it's funny because a lot of people say he plays similar to SOS. Yeah, he sort of does. I think herO's sneaky style is easier to label when he's doing it, where I feel like SOS is a bit more reactionary, thinking on his feet. Not that one's better than the other. Zest, I'd say, is overall a more stable player. You know, herO's kind of cheesy sometimes. What's crazy is his cheese always works.
Yeah, he really can make anything work out for him.
Protoss vs. Protoss is in a really interesting place right now, in that there's so many different ways to open up and respond and react to each other. So many ways to try to trick each other and all in each other that I'm really glad. I think best of 5 PvP, you can't get better than that. You know?
This is a sick matchup because, like, yeah, we have herO who's just such a trickster and, like, his micro is absolutely at the top of Protoss, and he's so strong. But at the same time, Zest, hero's going to be careful against Zest because if they hit a macro game, if it hits normal, that's where Zest will kill him. Like, Zest is the king of cutting corners, which just like he'll just have more units at specific times and stuff. Like he'll know exactly how to have exactly what he needs to hold exactly what you have, but. That's where herO might find his edge, right? Is that if Zest tries to cut any corners, well, damn, maybe herO cut a little corner there to get a DT out quicker, and suddenly you're dead.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel as though Zest overall, if you get into a late game PvP, he's probably just a little bit better at navigating that. A little bit more comfortable. The positioning, the flow, the overall engagements. The problem is that when you're playing against herO, you're probably playing on herO's rule set.
Yeah.
herO is usually dictating the tempo of the game. In fact, I think that's the easiest way to describe herO is he's somebody who really controls tempo.
Yeah.
His opponent's tempo.
He does.
And you have to basically be ready to navigate the maze he's set up for you. And if you can do it, then you come out on the other end.
Yeah.
You come out, you found the cheese. You got the cheese, Artosis.
There you go.
It's a perfect metaphor in this case, getting the cheese in the maze here, since what herO's really trying to do is cheese you.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to say he's like a mouse, but
no.
I mean, who do you think actually wins, though, at the end of the
I think herO.
herO?
Yeah.
You kind of talked me into herO. I'm kind of leaning herO right now. As much as I love Zest.
I'm buying stock in herO right now.
Yeah.
Now, I will say Zest, I'm ready for him to come back at any point in time and full-on dominate. He has not quite done that lately. He looks great. We're in a different era in StarCraft 2. The way that the game's playing, especially this matchup, I feel like this should be the most natural thing for herO to come out on top.
The most natural thing.
Yeah.
As nature would have it.
That's right.
Okay. Well, Zest has a haircut, Tasteless, so maybe he's feeling fresh.
It's important to get a haircut, man. If you're ever not feeling confident, go get a haircut. You're going to feel like, wow, I look a lot better than I am.
I'm about to shave my head after what the hair person did to it today.
I've actually wondered before what you would look like with a shaved head.
I have a weird shaped skull. Really weird.
We got like a swimming cap and just put it on you. I want to see. I want to do one of those things where what is it called, phrenology or whatever, where I touch the bumps on your head and try to figure out.
Oh, I actually want to check that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool idea, because I really do have a weird shaped skull. It's like, you know, Alien the movie? It's long like that. But I also have like this weird bump in the center top of my head.
Yeah.
Where it's not a bump, but it's like this raised area.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's like the beginning of a rhinoceros horn or something, but
it's a reverse thing. It's just a dent in your head.
No, it's not a dent. It's a reverse of a dent.
So it's a bump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not a bump.
That's what we
either,
call
though.
a reverse of a dent. Is a
no,
bump.
it's not a bump though. It's like a plateau. I have a plateau in my skull. I need to look at some phrenology and figure this out. I need to figure out what this means about me. Maybe I'm missing my true calling. I think
we should catch this game instead of looking at the screen. We close our eyes and just run our hands, our fingers over each other's heads. Just
get some nice scalp massages going on.
Yeah. Scalp massages are good, by the way.
Oh yeah.
When you're you get your hair cut and they put the shampoo in there, when they're done.
Yeah.
Sometimes they rub your head a little bit. That's the best part, man. Right. I love that.
I like when they dry the hair.
Oh yeah, that's nice too. So right away, the builds are mirroring each other. But with the cores done, we're going to have a much better idea of where it's going to go. Yay!
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Artosis. Thanks for coming down, guys. It's kind of a sleepy day here in the studio. Not a ton of people. So those of you who came down, we really appreciate it. Zestaurant, I see what you did there. I feel like that's a dad joke you or I would have made, but we had a lot of it.
I almost am jealous.
I feel like the GSL is a place where you go to see great StarCraft, but it's also like a hyperbolic chamber for dad jokes.
In a way.
And puns.
Well, the thing is, like, these early games,
what are you going to
do? There's, like, obviously patterns emerge. It doesn't matter how many probes you start with. The early games will fall into patterns after times that are, like, very predictable. Like, you're always going to see Protoss wall in. Every game in PvP.
I've actually been surprised that people ask me, why don't we talk more about what's happening in the first minute or two? I'm like, how much StarCraft did you watch?
Well,
I mean, there's definitely a clear pattern here.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, GSL is kind of a hardcore audience in a lot of ways.
Sure,
it's like we're on in the middle of the night in America, for instance, or, you know, Europe, depending on which day. And a lot of people watch, like, every episode, and every time we're like, whoa, he made 2 stalkers. He could attack with these. Like, you can pressure with the 2 stalkers, or you can defend with the 2 stalkers. We say that every time. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God,
Did you guys notice you're saying the same thing every time?
It's like, yeah, everybody falls into patterns, guys.
Yeah. I mean, so we try to mix it up a little bit. Chit-chat.
Look at this. The Robo coming out from Zest. He's also getting, look at it. This is actually very funny from Zest. Oh, and he's going 2 gates additionally.
Interesting.
Okay, so he's like going all in.
Yep. Does not want to go for a long game. Actually snipes that pylon. Pretty annoying supply blocking that, but guess what? He sees that the Nexus is coming down here.
Oh!
That's big. That's
He's
big.
in so much trouble now. That was a sick bait by Zest. I like to change this up, Taste. I think Zest is going to win this series.
Okay. We're allowed to change it at any point in time.
Change it right. It's like, as the Vipers died, I'm like, no, Rogue's still got this man. But look, Zest build obviously looking very, very good right now. He's actually making an observer, which is interesting. This is how he's kind of almost scared in a way. Pulling up to 4 gates here, but he's seen the Nexus. Okay, I think he might cancel that one. Do you think?
I think he cancels it. Well, and the fact that he's killing this many Stalkers, and he did scout that Nexus, right, for herO.
Yeah,
right?
he did.
So
that's the thing.
I don't understand why you'd make 4 gates and then make a Nexus.
Well, is he this afraid? This could be a thing because Zest is like really, really, really good.
Well, Zest is almost always trying to trick people, so I think Zest looks at whatever herO's doing and says, okay, so that's not what you're doing.
Oh, okay, so you think like
there's some kind of
this is all defensive play from him, basically.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Just the fact that you went Robo and 4 Nexus. The thing is, if you go Robo before your opponents...
What am I looking at?
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
He'll be okay, though.
Nexuses? I guess.
Oh, as long as those don't get into his base.
Get a pylon!
There you go.
Do you think that herO would suspect the double Nexus play? I understand that this expansion over here that Zest is taking this 3rd base is safe. It's in this little kind of backyard expansion area.
Yeah.
But I feel like aren't you afraid of just getting pushed right away? I mean,
as Zest, I think if you go Robo and you have your 4 gates up, like it's very hard to actually push through that. Like, these units will kind of hold on. Right? There's, like, ways to get ahead against a Robo player, but on this map specifically, it's kind of hard.
Look at this.
Yeah, like, the base he's taking makes a lot of sense for him, right? Because he's not on Robotech. He's actually on Twilight Tech, so he can take more open bases because he's the one that can be an aggressor. If you take the earlier Robotech, you get more Immortals, but it takes you longer to be able to move on the map. You have to be in a more defensive posture because things like Mass Zealot can kill you.
You know, maybe the SOS Classic game poisoned my mind.
Oh, it certainly did that.
You know, maybe I'm so used to seeing a play that's just much more insane that I'm like, what are they doing taking bases? Do that in this game?
This was a weird opener from Zest. herO's playing a much more normal game, I would say.
Yeah.
But what Zest is doing is in no way bad. It's like he's going to have a bigger Immortal count, and as long as he turtles well, he can come out at a good time where they're kind of similar as far as army size, but Zest's quality of army will be bigger.
Yeah.
It will be better, rather. Because the later you get in the game, right, Stalkers lose value, Immortals gain value. In fact, Immortals just continue to gain value unless you get into, like,
Immortals
Sky
still
Toss.
pretty much the best unit in the game, in my opinion.
It's a pretty good unit.
If you had to really break it down, I mean, the stuff that an Immortal can do is pretty crazy, and the fact that its base attack is so strong.
It's pretty strong.
You know, there's things it's not good against, but it's not really directly hard countered by anything. And yeah, it allows you to take on all these sophisticated units. It's funny because like units I don't think it was designed to be good against. It's good against anyways, like Stalkers.
Yeah.
You know, I think when they were making the Immortal, they were thinking of things like tanks. You know, you can get...
Oh, okay, yeah. Maybe you're right. They were thinking of things like tanks.
I don't
but
think they were thinking about
like,
the Immortal as something that was going to take on the Stalker, but if you look at the way it does damage...
It's the Stalker killer.
Yeah, oh,
like,
for sure.
It is the craziest killer of Stalkers in the whole world. By the way, like, a Prism on the way here for Zest. Charge and +1. His upgrade is pretty far behind. Actually, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing 2 Forges from him, but maybe that's too greedy.
You know, we were mentioning earlier that if this goes in a late game, I think it's going to be probably a better game from Zest. So we're actually into a game where they're both on 3 bases.
Yeah.
I know that this would normally look more like a mid-game with their supplies, but PvPs have been ending pretty quickly. So this is a longer PvP than what we normally get to see. So maybe Zest is actually in a place here where he should be able to outperform. Okay. Now, this is herO in a nutshell.
Yeah, okay.
He takes a super hidden base in an obscure location, and he's hoping that the more traditional player Zest is going to, while trying to find, you know, when exactly is herO going to take his 4th base, misreads the situation, thinks that herO is powering up about to attack, when in fact he has the same number of bases. And wow,
so funny.
Lady Luck on the side of herO there.
Yeah. By the way, look at this. This is so smart from Zest. He's loaded up to the 2 Immortals, so he'll do a mass charge lot warping in the main base with the Immortals. But the fact that he's pushing out this army, this is to draw herO's army out of his main base. The main base should be pretty much empty when he hits there because it looks like an attack is coming. Look at this. There's nothing up here to defend.
Okay, Immortal's coming down now. Gonna unpower this little gateway over here. There's the big warp in. No Zealot speed gonna come in anytime soon, whereas Zest is already done.
Yeah. And now that units are going up there, oh my god, he actually loses the prison. That was a big mistake by Zest. But the rest of his units coming up. And it's not like he's going to lose these Immortals. That's easy to get out with those.
He can juggle those for a while. With this many Archons over here and these Zealots already slowed down, the Archons should be able to win this fight if Zest decides to push in. He's edging forward now.
Zest should probably pull back with his main army. No reason for him to fight right there because he's actually really winning in the main base. He's doing a great job.
It's not often we get to talk about speed Zealots versus slow Zealots, but you can definitely see who wins that fight. And I think, at this point in time, Zest is doing so much damage up here in the main. He's taking out so many of these important gateway units. Okay, hold up. He picks up.
Ooh, really
was so
good micro.
sick.
Great juggling right there.
It's not done either.
Oh
He's going to warp in. Zest has won this game. He's now pushing forward.
He just punked him, man, and this was like kind of a weird build too.
Punked him?
He punked him. Are you kidding me?
Oh, punked, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, he went 4 gates in a robo defensively into a Nexus.
Yeah.
Into a third base immediately, and then just used simple unit positioning and posturing with his main army to draw everything out and killed him with that draw, basically.
He just did it again here, now using that Nexus to make more of a bottleneck here. And I think he should just take this out. GG.
Wow.
Zest wins game 1.
That was
very
slaughtering. I'm very excited right now. Very excited about the build that I just saw from Zest.
Yeah.
Because, was it confusion? Was it a plan? Was there an opening he was looking for? Was this all defensive plays? I don't really know what that was, but we have a best of 5 to find out during. Will he do something that looks anything like that again? I don't know.
It's so funny because herO taking that other main, had the game gone on for longer, that would have been interesting to see if Zest spots it. But that's so herO in a nutshell.
Yeah.
A little bit of an alternative play pattern. herO really never, as far as I can remember, ever plays a normal game. He plays, it's a bit rare. It might be the craziest game we've ever seen, or it's just a little bit off. The beat's a little bit different. He does not want to do a standard RTS game. Well, he's a creative player. Yeah,
it's the way it should be. It's a beautiful thing to express yourself through StarCraft, through any means. Any way you can express yourself. Go paint a picture, guys.
That's right.
Express yourself through the Twitch chat. I'm sure that's what most of you do.
Our game's loaded up. This is game number 2. Zest versus herO. Our map is black-pink, excuse me. Zest up 1-0.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 16, Match 6. Zest.
I think Blackpink, this is definitely a map that herO should be looking to do something on, something highly aggressive, I would say.
Root gaming.
Whether it's DT or Oracle, just something that's not more than other maps. I think he doesn't want to get into a normal game here because it is very easy for a player like Zest, who will have exactly the army he needs at a specific time, to do that pincer in between the natural and third base where you just don't have a chance. Where Zest has a sick concave at the bottom of those ramps, and wherever your army is, he sends 4 Zealots to the other place and you lose.
Let me put it like this, Artosis.
Yeah.
Oh, love from Sweden. Thanks for coming down, guys. We love you too. Love's all around.
Welcome. That's my Swedish right there.
What did you say?
I think I said welcome in Swedish. Welcome.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it is.
My Swedish game is not so good. Despite what people are probably
I know how to say welcome in Sweden. It's welcome because everyone in that country seems to speak English.
Yeah, they speak English in about 5 other languages. Meanwhile, Artosis and I, we failed 4 years of Spanish in high school.
I wasn't even smart enough to take Spanish, man.
You didn't take... Actually, I took French, but wait, did you take Spanish?
I took Latin. Wow, so helpful.
Yeah, that paid off.
Yeah. I could speak Latin after 3 years, and then I forgot it promptly after leaving.
But did you feel like that helped you learn other words?
No.
That's not the answer you're supposed to give. You're supposed to be like, oh, yeah, no.
I mean, I really...
People say stuff, and I'm like, oh.
I enjoy the class. It was one of the only classes in high school I actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
That's why I took 3 years of it.
Yeah.
And it was fun, and we read about interesting topics, and it was cool to learn a language and stuff, and declensions and all that stuff. I actually really enjoyed it. But did it like help me in any real way other than actually having a class I enjoyed? No.
I felt
Sorry,
like that
dude.
about trigonometry. Took a trig class. I'm like, what's going on here?
Oh, really?
I definitely am not going to use this in the real world, and I didn't know what happened in the class, and then I got out and then moved on, and I'm still okay.
Yeah.
In the grown-up world. By the way, I wanted to mention this earlier. You know, herO, I think, is probably the best player for the Protoss race. He's the best player on a one-on-one map. I think he could come up with the best possible builds.
Oh, okay.
Because he is so abusive in that way. Now, we were saying that maybe this is going to be a much crazier game. We do have the DT tech here for Zest coming up. Yeah, I'm sorry, for Zest, yeah.
And an expansion and Oracle coming out for herO. Oh, and look at that. Zest actually forces him to close the wall all the way. That's actually
this is interesting.
A little bit significant, but I guess he's going to lose the Adepts, so that kind of sucks.
Well, the Adepts are basically
just not target anything. That works. Okay, he actually chased it.
So there's still this one Adept on the run. Now, the shield battery is, I would say, worth a lot less than the Adept there, the two Adepts. So kind of an odd little moment there.
Oh, I love it. I love that pylon placement.
Now, it's so funny because I felt like we should be swapping the colors here where it should be herO who's blue, just by the way these games are going. But this is pretty interesting.
It's super funny that he's opening the door for the DTs.
Yeah. Now, is he watching? Oh! He's in!
And he has his 2 DTs split. The other Oracle has to come home.
Yep.
Because you only get 1 tag there, right? It's like, okay, you get that, but the other DT should come in right now. Unless he closed it. He didn't close it.
No, he did not.
Oh.
I'm surprised he even backed up there. I think that was a misclick.
Yeah. Kind of weird. Oh. Ooh. But still, he's gotten 6 probes, 7 probes. Going well
By the
enough.
way, the Robo's not even done yet, guys. So, I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward here. He just keeps making DTs. And eventually, the probe count's going to get down so low. Right now, it's actually quite even, though, since Zest is such a rush for this. But if he keeps this up, he can really slow this down. So another DT's being made. Right now, herO might be chasing that one a little bit too much.
I think he should have shaded at least a couple after that. Oh, actually, it turns around, so a little bit lucky right there. He clears everything. He has 3 Oracles now, so it seems like the time of DTs has passed. So where are we at?
Well,
even probe count just about, and herO with a bigger army plus 3 Oracles.
Yeah, it seems like actually herO, even though it looked scary, when you actually add up all the numbers, herO's basically fine.
Yeah.
It seems like this DT rush, a lot was sacrificed to get them out quickly, and therefore it had to do even more damage than we already saw. And I believe it was, I think, 11 or 12 probes that were killed back there. So it goes to show you that you really, once you get the DTs in there, it's not a matter of, you know, they do their own thing. You really have to kind of come forward and do a lot of damage with them. So now herO's trying to poke in here. I don't think he should fully go for it, but with these Oracles, this could be huge.
Yeah, 3 Oracles can kill a lot of probes very, very quickly. And actually, pretty good defense from Zest, considering. Gets 1 of the Oracles, forces them out, loses just 5 probes thus far. So that was like a probe-killing fleet, too. 3 Oracles and then 5-6 Adepts at the front.
Yeah.
So he minimized the damage, at least.
It's 39 workers to 34, so herO's in the lead in that sense. So.
And I like the 2 Oracles. Like, DT tech is good to have. The fact that it is an Archon, that's kind of nice. But, you know, all the Archon is doing is preventing these Adepts from killing all his probes. Which, I mean, obviously that's good that he's not losing all his probes, but...
it's almost like a zoning Archon there.
Oh, that was hilarious. Did you see that? The shade finished and the disc shot from across them where they shaded.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, that was a funny-looking graphic.
How crazy is that?
I haven't seen that before, actually.
It's funny how good people have gotten with the shades here. So now the worker count's getting worse and worse this game. He's continuing to kill workers.
Yeah.
And I mean, 45 to 36, so about a 10 worker lead here.
Yeah.
herO's tech is overall looking pretty clean. This is a great game here. Zest getting his Robo Bay out much later, by the way, which means that herO's going to have more Immortals incremented out. And As we've seen in Protoss vs. Protoss, you know, every game we learn a little bit more about it. It just seems like you really want to watch who has more immortals later on as a general indicator of who's going to win the game.
Yeah. herO right now is so on point with everything, right? Like, he hit his probe count for 2 bases, added his gates. His charge and +1 is going to finish as those finish up. And he's taking his 3rd Nexus while getting the Templar Archives. Like, this is so on point from herO. Like, there's nothing Zest can do, really, to hurt him right now.
You know, it's kind of funny because what Zest tried to do early on worked, and he's still not in good shape.
Yeah.
Which is just not what we normally end up seeing in a cast. Normally, someone tries something, it succeeds or fails. And, you know, of course, it's obvious who has the advantage or disadvantage. But it seems like Zest came in here with a plan. His plan worked. And then when the dust settles after the rush is finally stopped, it's just not enough. He's still behind, you know.
Oh. No, doesn't finish that. Okay. You know, he's Zest is looking for anything he can get done here damage-wise. Because, again, it's just like, what can you do? herO's like playing an almost perfect game. Okay, Zest is just going to all in with Archons, Charge Lots, +1, and a few Stalkers here.
I feel like this should be a pretty easy hold here for herO.
He has like 5 Archons or 4 Archons? How many?
I think it's 4 or something like that. If you just made another one over there.
There's 3, and there should be at least 1 more coming.
I think it's just to the right of the screen here.
I don't know, man. With this many Immortals, this seems like an army that's not going to do it.
Well, also the positioning is not really great for Zest to try to push in here, right? These Immortals have good cover. Zest is going to try to rotate around, but I would imagine herO just goes down there and stops it.
Yeah, herO's army just seems to be good enough, even though it's like very Zealot heavy and there's a lot of Archons. Ooh, I like this little DT slip by. Look at this, he's kind of posturing like he's going to walk down and attack.
Yeah, when in fact there's a DT that's going to be sent in.
Oh.
Got to be careful.
Hey, he got the Observer. That's the only Observer. The
Is
DT
it?
can just walk in now.
Yeah, but there's a cannon here.
Well, there's also a DT at the 3rd base. Look at this, he's going to get
call.
probes right there.
Oh, that was so sick.
Hey.
So wait a minute, did Zest actually just do it?
Well, we're watching some SOS type stuff right here for sure.
Going for these pilots.
Oh, you picked it up. I don't think it got tagged. I'm not sure, but...
Nope, it's okay.
Oh, my God. And he unpowered the Robo. Okay, so there is 1 Observer out, though. There it is.
Now, again, it seems like herO has a little bit more supply. He has a little bit of a bigger army. Even though what Zest did tactically was pretty sexy.
Yeah, it was.
I think herO might still have a very strong counterattack where he can start to beat up Zest. I mean, the fact that herO lost probes is a pretty big deal, but... I mean, Zest is only just now starting that 3rd Nexus.
And Zest has, what, maybe 1 Immortal? I'm not sure if he already had 1 at home, but 1 is about to pop. Now he's going to get his gas. No more gas for you! Or only a little bit of gas for you. Okay, this attack kind of coming up. Going to go over towards that 3rd. That 3rd just got started.
Guardian
he can easily force a cancel. Oh.
Now, herO's going with a much more straightforward attack over here. He's just going to take this Nexus out. That gets canceled.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Zest is going for this harass play. 13 more probes have been killed, so now herO's down at 26 to 42. Then I would say all that Zest has to do is just not let herO up his ramp and do a lot of damage. And I think in the long run, this is actually a game that Zest can win.
Yeah.
He just has to avoid this big, scary army from herO.
He's in the running now, and like, let's say he snipes this Nexus. Well, damn, there we are. The Immortal count was really the big thing for herO, but now Zest is over halfway done, +2. Okay,
I gotta say, I mean, Zest just winning this with pure tactical brilliance, honestly.
Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of what herO does is sort of sneaky builds and stuff's hidden in a very specific place. Where Zest wasn't always in a good spot, but just sort of navigated the game to a position, and then he really took advantage of a few things. Like, for instance, we thought that push was never going to work from Zest, but Zest saw an opening and said, wait a minute, I can probably start to, like, drop a few DTs, not too many, not too little, into these locations, and herO wasn't really ready to defend all of that. And now it looks like it's a game that I think Zest can close.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, they both have +2, and That is a lot of Zealots coming up right now. The Archons definitely getting some premium damage in here. The Immortals in the back dealing huge amounts.
There's actually, for a little bit, there are too many Zealots there for herO, in a good way, I mean. And now this arc here from herO is actually a little bit better. And I think for all this praise that we gave to Zest, herO had a better overall engage there. That's it, GG.
And look, wow, herO made a better army. It seemed, though, that like herO should have won that game easily, and Zest really clawed his way back into it.
Well, he had to wait for a moment where he had definitively a better army than his opponent. And when you get them down to half your probes, now granted, it's not like Zest has all those numbers in front of him, right? But, you know, it's easy for us. We're observing. We have all the supplies, the statistics, and kill counts, everything in front of us. But I think Zest needed to stay back a little bit further. Avoid that army. That's the only thing herO had going for him. herO, by the way, had so many more Zealots in that fight.
Oh, yeah.
That the Archons were still hitting Zealots back, where herO's Archons are actually hitting the Archons of Zest.
Yeah.
And that's when you start to see the snowballing effect begin.
Zealots definitely tanked quite a bit. I mean, a lot of splash being dealt to them, but he was up like 20 army supply. That's the thing. Like, he had just killed a ton of probes, but he hadn't caught up in army yet. So you're right. He should have avoided fighting at that point. But it's tough, too, because he's trying to take his third base. If he loses that, he's kind of back to stage 1 again, right? Still, that was a really nice game.
Well, it also shows Zest plays very differently, but he's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Like, herO was actually dealing with a lot back there, and it just still managed to keep that core army. It allowed him to push forward. Anyways, guys, we're going to game number 3, Zest vs. herO.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 16, Match 6. Zest.
This is a battle of the handsome guys. Oh, you notice that? These are sharp-looking dudes.
It's the war of the handsome guys.
You gotta wonder how many people are watching this thinking, you know, it's not really fair that they're that good-looking and they're good at this game. Like, isn't life supposed to be balanced? Like, can you really be as handsome as herO and be that crafty and smart?
I know. And ride a
skateboard to
tournaments that you win?
Yeah. Well, I won. He's like skateboarding out of the studio with one of those big cardboard checks we have. I'm like, well, that's actually you're too cool.
Yeah.
I think we
uses that as a win foil to. He doesn't even have to power his skateboard on the way home.
Yeah. It's like I think this is not fair. You know that you're this cool.
Well, at least it gives the rest of us something to aspire to.
Yeah.
There must be heroes in this world, Tasis.
Well, I mean, he named himself aptly Artosos.
Yes. That's funny. I didn't even think of that. All right. Zest going for the cheese. Is that going to be a Stargate or a Robo?
Maybe Robo. That feels like it's in the spot where it could be for a Robo, but...
Yeah, it feels like Stargate would be more to the north, but that... Yeah. Feels more Robo-y.
It's going to be a Stargate watch. This always happens to us.
Makes a Twilight. I'm like, oh.
Like, God damn it, I forgot about that one, too.
Well, if you make a Twilight there, then... I don't even know at this point. Okay, it is a Stargate.
Well,
kind of a meta position in the fact that you wouldn't imagine that it would get scouted.
If you think about where people check for the Stargate right away, they don't look there because that's where the Robo bays normally get. They're doing some kind of proxy.
You know what that could be, though? That could be a Void Ray, is what it could be. Oracle wants to get in the main base quickly, so this could be like one of those Void Ray rushes where you make a bunch of shield batteries. And look, he's going to scout the proxy locations that Stargates are normally in. So
this is so meta.
The mind games are real here. Good stuff.
So he has the Adepts to push in here. This makes it much more uncomfortable for herO to try to scout anything else out. The Adepts don't really telegraph much anyways. This is so very much part of just what PvP is now. So funny how with Adepts now, Protosses just have to factor in a certain amount of money with making blocks and canceling them over and over.
Yeah,
that's like part of the build, is you're going to hemorrhage this amount of money just to keep these Adepts out over and over.
Yeah, it basically costs 25 minerals every 3 shades or so, right?
Yep.
Like you shade once and you have to spend it, and then...
So that really emphasizes how bad sentries are just as lone fighters.
Oh, I love it. He knows that there is absolutely no point right now. Ooh, he actually gets 5 probes, not bad.
You know what's funny is that he saw the sentries try to attack that. It's like, nope, you can't kill that either.
Yeah.
You guys might as well not have an attack.
Yeah, really. Sentry attack is pretty laughable. Yeah. But I like that split-second decision-making, right? Instead of turning it on and watching this hilarious thing where a shield battery just never lets an Oracle kill a probe. Uses that, uses the stasis ward. You know, now he has 2 Oracles, so he can one-shot him. Ooh, his own
Finally, herO's now moving out on the map. These Oracles of Zest still looking for an opening. Subtle, but I do want to point out once again, it's always Zest doing a little bit of damage out on the map, but herO has more workers, even though he's lost some already.
Yeah, he's
that
actually
stuff slowed down. herO seems maybe to be just a little bit overall a better macro player.
I think he's just focusing on the Nexus quicker. I mean, herO's very good at macro, but I don't think anyone's. I think it's impossible to call anyone a better like macro player than Zest. Like, he doesn't always go for late game, but I mean, his production is really, really good. You know?
By the way, did you see how many probes have just been killed here?
Yeah,
9,
it's pretty sick.
That quick. I mean, Zest had all that crafty harass, but now hold up. Here's a big moment. These Oracles can do so much damage so quickly, and yeah, why not just go for the sentries?
Yeah, overpowers that shield battery, but now a Phoenix coming up. Oh, he's even flanking with those Phoenixes.
Yeah.
Was that an F2?
Real Phoenixes and fake Phoenixes.
Yeah.
Pretty great play there by herO.
Good recall.
Okay, and he gets back home just fine.
The second Stargate going up for herO, so he's really going to focus heavily on Phoenixes, whereas Blink coming up for Zest, making that 3rd Nexus. He is down in probes.
Blink definitely a good ability to have if there's going to be more and more Phoenixes incorporated into the game.
Especially if it's 2 Stargate Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know, if it's like 1, it's like, yeah, I mean, obviously Blink is still going to be good, but you know they're going to start getting Immortals out. But with 2 Stargate Phoenix, you don't leave yourself, especially on 2 bases, a lot of room to get other high-quality units like Immortals.
Yeah,
kind
well,
of
your gas is going to those Phoenixes instead of those Immortals.
Yeah. But this can be really good, too. He's going to have a lot of Phoenixes out very soon.
So we have a difference in the rhythm of expanding. It looks like herO is going to be expanding outwardly, whereas Zest will be expanding inwardly. So in the long run, assuming that herO can reap the benefits of this 3rd base, he'll end up with more minerals coming in, since there's only 4 patches in the base that Zest is taking.
Oh, this is a great play. Oh, my God. Great way to spend his Oracles. It's so funny at these really high pro levels how often Oracles beat Phoenixes, where it's like, yeah, there's Phoenixes out, and then the Oracles get tons of kills, and I'm just sitting there scratching my head.
Well, it's not like they have to fight each other.
No, it's true.
The Oracle is interacting with the probes while the Phoenix is trying to interact with the Oracle. And, of course, the Oracle could just kill things so fast. It's like, okay, well, who really came out on top here? Do I really care if this Oracle is dead, considering how much damage I did?
But here's my real question, Tace, is how do all these just master-level Protosses always have the Phoenix where my Oracles come in? That's the real question. And these guys can't do it. Tell me that one, Tace.
This is a good question, Artosis.
Ooh, I like the double Oracle from herO, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
Like, flying in his own Oracles at this point? You have to catch that with Blink Stalkers.
Think about it. These are both worker harass units, right? He can start picking up stuff over here like he's doing these Phoenixes, and then 2 Oracles come on the other expansion and start gunning down workers there. Meanwhile, Zest now with a counter over here, sending these Adepts over here into the main.
Yeah, recalls his Phoenixes to make sure he can clear them out. Decent probe damage done, though. Zest with a big probe lead.
15 kills there for that side. And Zest now going to double expand. And you know what? I said herO was going to expand outwardly, but he never actually took it. We saw a probe and a pylon there, but
what happened?
I sort of mentioned that.
Did
he
start the Nexus? Or no?
No, I don't think he even started it. So, you know, herO actually has to start really, really, really stepping it up here, man, because you can't have 4 bases versus 3 bases. I mean, he just now started that Nexus, but I mean, herO is just going to get more behind.
Yeah.
You can have cool harass all day if you want, but if you have way more bases, you can remake all those probes pretty easily.
He's not really finding any damage right now. Losing a Phoenix, losing an Oracle there. He's like setting up a random stasis ward. a very small amount of units from herO up here to the north.
Yeah. So,
that's a cool play.
Zest kind of growing at a pretty terrifying rate here. Again, guys, if you haven't followed herO very recently, he's actually had some pretty bumpy games. Not what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, he actually lost PvP to an up-and-coming player called Emotion.
That's right.
Twice in the GSL qualifiers, so won't be in Code S next season, which is just the weirdest thing, because he's a guy that you look at and you're like, well, this guy could win Code S.
Certainly.
But he won't even be in it. And the thing is, he's showing good PvP here against herO, against Zest overall. You know, it's tied up 1-1. But this game definitely does look Zest favored right now. Zest on 4 bases, the 3rd base just finishing up for herO.
Yeah, and Zest, I mean, the fact that herO is expanding later and he's expanding to this 3rd base out here, Zest grew faster. I feel like Zest just pushes and kills this base. Am I wrong? I mean, that's just sort of the way this goes, right? He just attacks in there and that dies, right?
Well, he's focusing on Immortals and Void Rays right now, so very anti-stalker. He can't break this natural.
Well, he says otherwise. Okay, takes out just that Immortal. I thought he was going to blink on top of it all for just a second there, which could have been kind of scary.
I think with the double shield battery, it gets almost too scary at that point.
Yeah, well then how much more sustain do those Immortals have? They kind of just hang on and keep...
You turn on
every
your
Immortal
Void Rays.
shot versus Stalkers is so scary.
Ooh. Gets 2 feedbacks off, but actually loses both High Templars. Not worth. Oh my god.
Oh, nice.
The amount of probes killed this game on both sides is huge. Oh, he kills the High Templar as it's warping in. No feedback there. Oh my god, twice.
That's one way to do it.
Oh my god. I feel like this is something that should have been tested in practice. Can the High Templar warp in and feedback before it dies? No!
Well, you know, sometimes
we
get so used to seeing just the Oracles killing workers, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't initially think of Oracles fighting stuff, right?
Warping and High Templars, yeah, I don't think of that.
When you look at it, it's like, oh no, yeah, they deal damage that fast. So Templar's not that beefy. herO's coming out here. Looks like he's ready for a pretty big attack.
Dude.
Does he have the exact right unit comp to counter all these Stalkers? I think he might.
Well, he's playing here against like 22 Stalkers or something. He's got like the Stalker-killing army of all time. Oh my god, the probe's getting pulled out right now. Charge just finished. Oh, the Void Rays dealing ridiculous amounts of damage.
Seems like with this arc, these Immortals are still in the back here.
Yeah, they're dealing sick damage. The Zealots of Zest actually doing some heavy lifting here. This Immortal has shot at Zealots so many times.
I actually can't believe that battle with the way it actually did.
Yeah.
I mean, considering it was Zest with basically Zealots and Stalkers in a pretty good angle against every other unit that Protoss has.
Yeah.
And he still kind of came out on top.
Well, he had to pull all of his probes.
Yeah.
He lost so many probes there. I really want to see the Worker Loss tab so badly. So badly.
Well, I don't think you're going to get that right now, Artosis, but I agree. I mean, the fact that many workers were killed off. Right now, it's 45 probes and 34. So throughout these series, we're seeing just so many workers killed off constantly that everybody's sort of on low economy, despite how many bases you see them taking on the map. In fact, it's pretty... They've really had to tighten their belts in this game.
It's so hard for them to tell exactly where each other is at because they both killed so many probes at random times throughout the game.
Yeah, it's quite the opposite of like an early game.
Kill 5 probes early game, you have a good idea of how that reverberates throughout the game, but like this has been batches, huge batches, small batches, just probes dying left and right.
Yeah, there's almost no way to tell. Now, the fact that Zest is banked this much gas might be the real story. He can just keep making Templars. He's going to have way more Archons. Way more Archons.
Yeah.
Should get in a fight with herO. Besides Immortals, Archons are the other big unit you kind of watch for. Is like, who has more of these?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Zealot.
how we can usually discern who's actually on top.
Very Zealot-heavy army here from herO. And there is +2 for Zest, which definitely makes a difference with these Archons. Still a decent amount of flying units in there. Can be useful, but not as much against Archons. Yeah, you got to cancel that one, Zest. Get out of there.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he might. No, okay. So, yeah.
Oh, he waited for the charge.
That was smart because now these Zealots can't run away as quickly. But 2 Zealots over here at this top base killing off a lot of workers. But Zest is in pursuit.
Yeah, you see the difference that even Charge makes right there. He waits till they charge, and now he's on the chase going in here, and his Archons just erasing these Zealots.
Now, a few more Zealots are coming in here to try to deal some additional damage. You know, I feel like sometimes we have these big themes in the series, and it seems like a lot of it is like herO is basically really good in the big fights. We talk about him being crafty, but a lot of these wins he has, he's just sort of okay with the warp-ins. He sort of knows how to have everything maneuver around. Like, he had 3 Archons there. He had just the right time Zealots to warp in to tank so that his 3 Archons didn't actually ever get targeted down, whereas Zest just kept losing those fights. And I feel like Zest has played some of the best games you've ever seen, herO's, but herO is actually just a little bit better. It's like even if Zest wins several battles, it's like, no, herO knows how to basically take this to a win no matter what.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a really good game. This is a super sick series right here. Best series of the day so far, I would say. But like, I'm surprised that he came back in this game. It felt like Zest had the advantage for a little bit, and I loved how he waited for the charge to get burnt on the Nexus and went after him. But the thing is, herO ran until the charge came back and then fought. And he just barely broke that army, but he did break it. And herO's army was significantly bigger, and he had the surface area for his charge lots to do their damage. I really think that Zest should have chased him part way, then turned around again. Like, if he turns around again, gets a couple more warp-in rounds, and he's staying in areas that the Zealots don't get that huge surface area, I think he actually wins this game. I think that last engagement is where Zest fell over.
herO is I think because he's somebody who always knows how to try to get a leg up on his opponent, you know, and do make a decision that's going to be just better, or trick them, or make a proxy play. All this crazy stuff he does, he seems to know how to get in that position, and then he just knows how to close it with that big fight in the end. Yeah. I'm really chalking a lot of this up to herO. Just seems to get late game PvP fights better than almost anybody else. You know?
GSL SuperTournament Season 1, Round of 16, Match 6.
You know, we have so many games that we do down here that, you know, we don't really have time to throw up like a replay and kind of review what happened, but I would love to just go over that last PvP battle that we had back there.
Zest.
You know, a lot of times if you don't play like in-depth StarCraft, these battles can look really confusing, but there's so many subtle, nuanced things in that PvP fight. Like you were saying, the Zell legs, when does that trigger, right?
Yeah.
Gaming.
If you burn a charge, that's a really big deal. And you can take it off autocast, but that's almost too micro-intensive.
Yeah, exactly. The way that Zealots engage charge versus not charge, like if they charge in, sometimes depending on the angle they come in, they can get a nice surround.
Yes, exactly. Like they'll charge extra far to hit their target.
Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. I mean, if you're against a bunch of Archons and then, you know, your Zealots charge in, but at kind of a weird angle, then they all eat the Archon shots at once.
Yeah, it does matter. Like, you need these wide open areas. Yeah, like we saw.
You want the Archons to soak up damage, but you don't want them to just soak it up all at once. You're basically hoping that they buy time so that every Archon shot, another shot, doesn't do as much. And it's pretty cool to see when these battles actually occur, because there's so much actually happening at once. It's not just about knowledge, it's about execution, just how well herO handles it.
This next game, Zest fighting for his life right now. herO on that match point, very importantly. Zest, what are you doing?
He's up to something, herO's.
I wonder if he's gonna. He might do the shade 2 Adepts over. Yeah, 2 Adepts, right? So his probe might go up to try to block where you make the pylon right at the last second, like a very well-timed move. Oh, or he'll just make a pylon here and do something crazy because hero's going Starkey.
Yeah. Let's see what that crazy thing is. Stargate, in this case for herO, not proxying anywhere, it's just in the main. So we don't have the situation.
Oh my god.
Oh, how funny. Now, what's crazy about this is that you don't normally make a proxy Stargate here.
No.
For one. Normally you'd make it just about 2 screenshots to the right. Maybe 1 screenshot to the right.
And herO scouted 2 screenshots to the right.
Yeah. But of course, one of the reasons why you don't make this here is that that's close enough to your base where they can just come down the ramp and kill it if they become aware of it, right? So Zest has to make this work very, very quickly in this game. Now, I don't believe that herO has seen this at all just yet.
No, he certainly has not seen it. But this is 2 games in a row where Zest hides the Stargate in such a weird spot, and herO is really looking for it. Of course, Wait. Yeah, okay, they just switched
Dude,
colors
is this
there.
real? He
But
still hasn't seen it. It's
Yeah.
so close. It's like 1 pixel away.
so funny. If the
Wow.
probe dances north when it makes the nexus, you'll see it.
Yeah,
if it doesn't,
that's true.
you won't. In this, dances south right there. That's so funny. But yeah, this is Phoenixes in base against Oracle. Now, obviously, if the Phoenixes move out, the Oracle's going to get a ton of kills, but the Phoenix
they're
is
not.
sitting there.
So the fact that he's banking up 2 Phoenixes over here. Now keep in mind, as Artosis was mentioning earlier, sometimes the Oracles end up winning in the overall engage because they just kill off so many probes before these Phoenixes can actually kill everything off. So we're up to 5 kills,
Not
and
bad.
that's where it ends. But, oh my God, he doesn't know where it is.
Oh my
God.
Okay, now he knows where it is. This is like so funny. I turned around and hoped to see a smile on hero's face because it's such a ludicrous spot to put a Stargate.
So he actually ran that. He ran those Phoenixes for a while, hoping that it would look like he had not spotted it because he actually wanted that Oracle to come out.
yeah,
How funny! The mind games are so crazy here.
it's wild.
So now herO continues to make Phoenixes. Zest has been zoned out of the Stargate game because of the fact that he took that risk in proxy there. So was it all worth 5 probes in the end? I don't know. That's a lot. The Pylon, the Stargate, the Oracle, the canceled Oracle. Whereas
Yeah.
I think that herO in the long run can kill off more workers, especially if he keeps making Phoenixes. I don't see any making right now. He's going into Robo.
He's kind of forcing him to stay back and stuff. But hero's follow-up is really, really awesome. He's sitting on 3 Phoenixes, which is a great harassment amount, right? A lift and then 2 volleys, and you've killed a probe.
Right.
Well, I guess he's made some more, but that's fine as well. Like, he's not over-making. He's getting a quick Robo. And the fact that Zest has gone immediately into Dark Shrine makes me nervous for him. He's going to try to use Dark Templar. It's like, Dark Templar aren't bad, but he's going to be in this kind of wonky position where they aren't likely to do too much damage.
Funnily enough, these you can't quite send probes there until those stalkers have basically covered everything. Again, all these little victories. It's funny because, like, especially in PvP now, there are so many little mind games going on. And there was another one. He just baited the stalkers out there in just enough time for these Phoenixes to come in there to get 7 kills.
Wow. 7 kills.
herO is such a tactician. So 2 DTs are warping in. I believe they're just outside of herO's base, the kind of the center left part of the map.
Yeah.
There they are.
But there is an observer out. I think it's just sitting at the front. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Oh boy. He has enough force fields to truly wreck this.
Yeah, this is the problem, is when you go DTs like this. Oh, are you serious? Wow, that's it. He just taps out when he sees that he's going to lose too much money with a failed DT rush like that. herO did it. herO just, I got to say, a better player. He just gets PvP so well.
Zest was very into DTs this game, and they did not quite, or this series overall, did not quite work out for him. I mean, it was a cool series, though. I especially like Game 1 and how weird that one was.
Yeah, that was special.
Okay, herO moves on. No big surprise there, I think. Zest obviously a very good Protoss player, but herO, his tournament is Super Tournament, a finals and second place so far.
It's a very different tournament from the other tournaments we do here. We go through these best of 5s in just 4 days, and I think overall herO is one of those players who's just very well-rounded. We've seen him in these other tournaments. Kind of any player he goes up against, he's pretty much going to do a good job. So many crazy mind games with those 2 players back and forth, but in the end, even though Zest pulled off in some of his games some tricks that were so cool to see, it seems like overall herO just had a better understanding of how to stay on top. A lot of times when we see games, when we see their strategy actually work, we say, okay, well, he's ahead. And oddly enough, in the herO versus Zest games, you can see that even if Zest did what he wanted to do, and it, I guess, in a sense, succeeded because that was the mission objective, when it comes to the end fight, or in some cases how many probes Zest has versus herO, herO's still ahead. I mean, I think this really kind of represents just how deep of an understanding herO has in PvP.
His PvP just felt really good in that series.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's one of the best in the world with that matchup. Not that Zest isn't, but The series overall, like a lot of DT play, a lot of weird proxies and like proxy locations. It kind of, the thing is, sometimes in PvP you get the wrong end of a build order and things just go all to hell.
Sure.
And what can you really do from there? You know, there's Phoenixes sitting in his main base as the Oracle comes in, then he proxy behind the natural. So that Stargate's definitely going to go down. He's going to find that eventually.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We come back, our third best of 5. Don't go away.